Hi, good morning. It's Jane from the Compassion Project, and I am super honored to have Alicia Becker here. And her and I met, I'm gonna tell you briefly, her and I met in a Brene Brown book club online, which is incredible. And we kind of connected pretty quick.
Yeah.
And she is, I have to describe you because she's had me laughing. Okay, she's amazing, dynamic, and fun. And she was born in Michigan and raised there, right? And then she's temporarily living in Atlanta, but she does call herself a New Yorker because Alicia worked there as a global financial recruiter, one of few women amongst a whole bunch of men, which is amazing. And so she was there 20 years. But after the recession in 2008, she relocated to Wyoming, where she became a pro ski instructor at the Jackson Hole Resort. What a change. It's quite the change, eh?
Exactly.
This is what I loved about you. She's a travel and experience junkie. She loves food, wine, and all things animals and nature. And she's a disaster at laundry. I'm like, you're my soulmate friend. I was like, I love this girl. So we are going to share her story today, just find out how she's coping with social distancing and this global pandemic. Yeah, so I'm super excited to chat with you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm like honored. I'm excited. I've never done this before. I mean, it's you. And I knew, like I was saying before, like as soon as we met, I felt like soul sisters. Like there was definitely something. And, you know, I believe in connection, of course. And when you connect with somebody, you really connect. So thank you. I'm excited to be here. This is fun.
How long have you lived in Atlanta?
Oh God. So I got here in this is 2020 2 years. I got here in a year. I've only been here a year.
Oh, okay. So what's happening in Atlanta right now, just to give people an idea of the situation there?
So right. I spent 20 years in New York City, and you know, I've lived all over the world. And I mean, I did live in Georgia. I did live in Atlanta about 30 years ago for a second. But so Atlanta, well, Georgia, right, being a southern state, they opened on Friday nail salons, bowling alleys.
They did?
Yeah, hair salons, tattoo parlors. So, you know, in joking with a friend of mine that lives in the building that I just met through this pandemic, I was like, hey, listen, I'm running out to get my hair cut, but do you want to go bowling later? And he responds, yeah, and we can get like a couple's mani-pedi, which, I mean, it's like insane. It's ridiculous. Like who on earth is going to...
Oh my goodness.
Like, why would you do that? And they want to open dining rooms.
Are there many cases there? Like, is it pretty bad there?
Well, honest to God, like I have turned off the news because it's so political.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like the governor here, which I'm not a resident, and sorry to anybody in Georgia and Atlanta. Fortunately, the mayor is stepping in and sort of putting her foot down and saying, absolutely, you know, we're not ready. This is not what's happening. We're not going to go ahead and do that. But I feel like it's not just Georgia, but I feel like it's becoming so political that their next position.
Do you have a lot of family in New York then?
I have some family in New York, but most of us have moved out. I have a mother here. She's elderly. So that's one thing that has been really difficult. She lives in an independent facility, and she's starting, like I can see she's having a really, really tough time. They are, I know, in the beginning, and they locked down like a week or two before the national nursing homes did.
Okay.
Which was great, and I applaud them for it. But she's alone. She lives alone. And the first couple of weeks, they were still letting them have dinner together. And then, things are changing daily. And so now they can't even, they used to go in the TV room or whatever. And now they can't do any of that. So she's having a really, really tough time. They're really isolated. Although I did speak with the director, and so I used to drive through the parking lot and like get on the phone and wave to her.
Aww.
I know. And so I don't know, like, what's worse? Like, if it's worse that you don't see your parents. I had a dear, dear friend of mine lose someone, lose her mother last week, not due to COVID, but these people they can't even go. Like, they can't be there and be in the hospital. But
that's crazy.
Coming out of her place that they had to break up her boyfriend and girlfriend and send it back to his apartment. And, they're having parties because they had like, I don't know how many in one apartment with like 2 or 3 bottles of champagne. And they were celebrating that they just got through 14 days of
isolation. Oh my goodness.
Not realizing, that they're going to have to go and do it again. So
yeah. So how do you find this is all affecting you directly, like yourself, and where your life was like right before this?
So, a couple of things. I was in New York, and I was a global financial recruiter for years and years. And in 2008, the area that I was recruiting for pretty much tanked, and that sort of set off the whole economic crisis. And at that point, I really wanted to do something different. I was completely burnt out. So at the time, I had a 14-year-old golden retriever. So there was no way. I was going to go abroad. There was no way I was going to leave him. So I thought, all right, what do I want to do? Oh, I want to teach skiing. I want to be a ski instructor. I was born on skis and skied all my life. And I went out to Jackson Hole. And so for 10 years, I had this dual life of teaching skiing in the winter. And then the rest of my life, I would be back in the city. And it was incredible because it gave me the balance of all these different aspects of my life.
Yeah, you also love that.
Yeah, it was really great. And especially the complete dichotomy between, running around and having huge banks as my clients. And then I would actually see some of them because I would recruited them out to ski with me.
Okay.
So that was great. So I did that for 10 years. And then I was executive coaching and life coaching, and I started putting the two of them together. And in 2017, I had a really bad skiing accident right in the beginning of the season. And I was sent home with a traumatic brain injury.
What happened to the ski accident? How did you?
We don't know. We have no idea. Like, nobody saw it. I don't know. We think that I may have gotten hit. But my world was completely turned upside down.
Oh my goodness.
So that's what brought me to Atlanta, because there was no health care in, a tiny little ski town, which was kind of shocking to me. But that brought me to Atlanta. And so I'm basically going through therapy here. So all of a sudden, here we are in this incredible global pandemic and economic crisis. Like, who on earth would have ever thought that we would get here?
No, I know.
I just started thinking, like, I feel like on one part, I'm a little bit ahead of the game because I'm very used to being isolated. And for anybody that has some kind of invisible injury, or especially a traumatic brain injury, You go through so much, and you become really isolated because people don't understand.
Yeah.
And it's almost easier. People look at you, and on this side, I look fine. I look normal. But inside, you're screaming
Yeah.
because all of these things are changing, and you don't know which way is up. So,
oh my goodness, I can't imagine. So that struggle it is similar, because you would feel like self-isolating or alone, and now we've got this where everyone's going through this kind of
right.
feeling isolated.
Right. Yeah. And so I've been through isolation. So all of a sudden here we are again, but because I'm getting better, I was getting to that point of, oh, great. I'm feeling better. My therapy is happening. So I started putting myself out in the world again. And then all of a sudden the doors slam shut again. So here you are thinking, oh my God, like, wait a minute. This isn't.
I don't know if you saw the interview I did with my mom, but she did say something that I thought was so powerful. She's in a retirement home too, and she said, we can't go outside, we need to go inside. And I was like, we all need to go inward. And you've been dealing with probably inward struggles since having that brain injury for a while, right? That inner, that people can't see.
Right.
And that's
exactly.
I think there's a line that I love, and it's what you don't know that you don't know about that person. Because we all put on this image, or we look a certain way, or people think we're a certain way, but we all have these inner struggles or battles, whether it's from childhood or things that our brains think we're a certain way, or we have pathways that are like, you're not good enough, or you're going through an injury, a traumatic brain injury to try to recover. There's this whole inner turmoil that we deal with, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I saw the interview with your mom, and I totally just wanted to hug her, because we have the same, and I know you do too, we have the same philosophy on things. And at the end of the day, I truly believe that things happen for a reason. And so, I had this incredible life. I'm single. I could do anything that I wanted. I was financially okay. I was independent. I was extroverted and outgoing. And then all of a sudden, in a second, that life that I had, that I took for granted, is gone. And it's the same parallel. And this is what, I was talking to you about in my own journey, and putting out my story surrounding the pandemic, that there's a lot of parallels, and that will be posted on Facebook probably this week. So you have to go in, because we don't have anything out there anymore. We can't hold on to anything, because we can't do anything.
Yeah. And it's really about digging deep and really appreciating what's right in front of us, and having a deep gratitude, not just gratitude, but gratitude for the simplest things, because we realize that's what's important. The simple moments, that's what, when we go inward, that's where you really start to be like, okay, right in front of me, I have this home, or I have my dog. I know you have a dog that loves you. Those simple things that we kind of in our busy world took for granted, right?
Oh, completely. And I have this feeling like part of me is kind of scared, because, well, yeah, totally. I'm scared of what is going to happen. It's the uncertainty, right? But it was the uncertainty with my injury. But I have a feeling that I feel like there's two schools, like the people that are going to be like, all right, we got to get back. Like, let's go. Let's giddy up. Let's go. And not even see what just happened to the world, right? Like, the canals in Venice, like the Himalayas, like nature is telling us something, but I have this fear that the people are just going to go back to their life that they knew it so quickly, and down the road, like right now, people are spending time with themselves or their dog or their family and their close friends, and all of a sudden that's going to be gone. And I fear that they're all of a sudden going to say, wow, I really want that back.
Yeah. I think it's definitely going to change people's perspective. And I do think the world is going to change. It's going to be a new normal. I do. And yeah, everyone's experience is going to be different. So it'll be interesting what happens. But it's that when life is perfect and rosy and everything's wonderful, we really don't learn a lot about ourselves. It's through the challenging times, unfortunately, where we find the most growth, right?
Exactly. It's like the other day, like, like everybody else, like there's those two schools. There's the ones that are like, yeah, I'm going to get up early and I'm going to write in my journal and I'm going to jog 15 miles a day and everything's great. Or there's the one like me, it's like, is it the COVID-9 or is it like COVID-19? I alone, I haven't been drinking, but oh yeah, curbside. I mean, I was on there in 5 seconds ordering, and then the other day, I go to the grocery store, right, with my mask because something happened in Georgia. They're like, yeah, like now's our real lockdown, right? I'm like, oh my God. So I get in, I like grab the car, and I literally am flying through the grocery store, just throwing stuff in. Like it's the last opportunity that I'm going to have to shop. And by the time I get to the checkout, this girl is like, my cart is ginormous. I was like, oh my God. First of all, I couldn't breathe. I was out of breath. I had so much wine and stuff. And then while she was checking it out, I was like, what am I, a family of 5? I was like, wait, hold on. And I like ran past 6 feet away from the cute gentleman behind me to get what? 5 bags of chips. Yeah, for sure. Like,
but people, I think we all have that little bit, until you control it, that panic. So it's like a bit of anxiety about it. And then you add uncertainty to anxiety and you have panic. That's why people bought toilet paper. That's why you're like, okay, there's a little bit of panic.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So, and it's, we've not, this is something that people try to, people I think are trying to control and like, oh, I know what's going to happen, but it's the uncertainty. We've never, ever, ever been in this position. And it's global. I mean, my friends in Europe and all over the world, it's not like you can run. It's not like you can hide. No one is talking. No one's really coming forward. And I think this is why I really wanted to come forward with my injury. And what's happening in the world now is that the amount of grief and loss is beyond. It's just tremendous. And I really think that people, they're not there yet. It's I think it's going to hit people really, really hard. And which is, I've already talked to a bunch of my friends and so anyway, and I'm incredibly familiar with that.
The only thing we can do is be there for each other and support each other, love each other, and connect. That's all we can do, because our life is our own journey, our own story. We each have our own story, and so I think the human connection, reaching out, and just lifting each other up. I think that's what we're gonna do.
I miss the connection for sure.
Yeah, you have to make it happen. I find that if I don't plan, like, okay, I need to do a Zoom with my 5 girlfriends, or I need to do, you know,
Right.
I am definitely someone that will reach out and say, let's get a chat going. But I do know some people that are very lonely that stay quiet, and they're waiting someone to reach out to them. So that I think you have to do what you're capable of doing. If you're the person that's capable of reaching out, then reach out, because some people aren't, and and I think it's important.
I mean, I like banged on my neighbors, like I barely even knew him, and I was like, "Hi, can we just like have drinks?" So I'll run over and straddle the wall of his patio and
Yeah.
have drinks, because what are you gonna do? I mean, social distancing. And
Yeah. Well, I think you're amazing, and your story is inspirational, coming through the brain injury, and I can see the parallels. So I'm so glad you shared it. And guess we should sign off. One lady was watching, and look at she put. How cute is that? What a cute lady, Diane. Which you are. You are amazing. You have a great energy, and I'm super glad that we got to chat.
Well,
So,
thanks, Jane. Thank you very much. It was thanks a lot for inviting me, and I'm so happy to meet you.
You're awesome. We'll definitely keep in touch, and when we can get out, maybe we'll meet up on a trip or something.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, for sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.